Hi guys, welcome to another video and I'm Abhinav Sabharwal, trainer for Agile, Business Analysis and Robotic Process Automation. And in today's video, we are going to talk about WBS or Work Breakdown Structure. Now, in this video, we will cover introduction, what is WBS, understanding the WBS, characteristics of Work Breakdown Structure, benefits of a WBS, how to create a work breakdown structure, and key work breakdown structure best practices. Guys, bear with me because this is going to be a bit long video, maybe 10 to 12 minutes. So have some patience. Let's look at what is WBS. The work breakdown structure can be confusing, especially for new project managers. Despite its name, it doesn't actually involve breaking down work. It involves breaking down deliverables. This, among others, is one of the several reasons why you need a thorough understanding of the work breakdown structure before you can create your own. A work breakdown structure is a hierarchical structure of things that the project will make or outcomes that will be delivered. A work breakdown structure defines all the things a project needs to accomplish, organized into multiple levels and displayed graphically. Essentially, a WBS defines the what of the project. Everything you need to accomplish in the project is displayed in a single, easy to understand chart. The purpose of this chart is to break down complex activities into smaller, more management constituents. As shown here, a WBS breaks down all these complex activities into smaller, more manageable parts. It's common to have three levels of decomposition in a WBS. This is one of the fundamental features of a WBS. It describes deliverables, not the activities necessary to get there. Every item in the WBS must correspond to an end product, real or virtual. If there are any verbs in your WBS, then you are doing something wrong. For example, if you are creating a work breakdown structure for manufacturing a car, you will include items such as car body or deliverable, not welding steel, which is an activity. So, through this presentation, you will come across terms such as work, deliverable, work package, etc. So let's understand these terms. In the context of project management, these terms often have very specific definitions. Now, work is, according to PMBOK, work refers to product or deliverables that are result of effort and not effort itself. That is, work defines the end result of an activity. The work remains constant even though the amount of effort need to get there might inflate or deflate. Deliverable. Now, as per PMBOK, deliverable is any unique and verifiable product, result, or capability to perform a service that is required to be produced to complete a process, phase, or a project. Deliverables will vary from project to project and client to client. According to PERT, which developed the WBS, a work package is the work required to complete a specific job or process, such as report, a design, a documentation requirement, or a portion thereof, a piece of hardware or a service. PMBOK has the simpler definition. A work package is a deliverable at the lowest level of WBS. Let us look at the characteristics of WBS. The first thing is hierarchy. The WBS is hierarchical in nature. Each child level exists in a strict hierarchical relationship with the parent level. The sum of all the child elements should give you the parent element. Second is 100% rule. Every level of decomposition must make up 100% of the parent level. It should also have at least two child elements. Third is mutually exclusive. All elements at a particular level in WBS must be mutually exclusive. There must be no overlap in either their deliverables or their work. This is meant to reduce miscommunication and duplication of the work. Fourth, outcome focused. The WBS must focus on the result of the work, i.e. deliverables, rather than the activities necessary to get there. Every element should be described via nouns, not verbs. This is a big source of confusion for beginners to the WBS. And fifth, work breakdown structure describes deliverables needed to complete the project, i.e. what of the project. It doesn't include timelines or resources. The goal of the WBS is to give the project team a hyper-focused idea of what they need to achieve. So here you can see in the diagram all the things that we have just said. Hierarchical, multiple levels, 100% rule. For example, here in project management, we need to do all these activities to complete project management. All these activities are also outcome focused. For example, project plan is a document, scope statement is a document, schedule is an Excel file with data in it, risk plan is a document, change plan is a document, and all of these are deliverables. Benefits of WBS. A WBS is a laser focused breakdown of all the key deliverables need to make the project successful, creating one of the several advantages such as project schedule. The WBS is the foundation of the project schedule and budget. Once you know all the deliverables required to complete the project, as well as their hierarchical relationship, it will be much easier to assign resources and set deadlines. Second is accountability. Since all the elements in a WBC are mutually exclusive, it helps to create accountability. A team assigned to a single work package is wholly accountable for its completion. This reduces overlaps in responsibility. Third, commitment. A WBS gives teams a very high level overview of their responsibilities. Since each team is responsible for a specific component at a time, it helps make them more committed to accomplishing their assigned tasks. Fourth, reducing ambiguities. The process of developing a WBS involves the project manager, project team, and all the relevant stakeholders. This encourages dialogue and helps everyone involved flesh out their responsibilities. Thus, everyone has less ambiguity and a better idea of what they are supposed to do. And fifth, creating a WBS is the first step in developing comprehensive project schedule. It can be of a massive help in getting everyone to understand the project scope and deliverables at different levels. How to create a work breakdown structure. The output of WBS development process might seem simple, a short document with a list of deliverables. To create it, however, you need a thorough understanding of the project scope, your team's capabilities, and your stakeholder requirements. Here's the process of creating WBS from scratch. First is understand the project scope. In our earlier project management guide, we identified the WBS as one of the key documents created at the end of the planning phase. Before you can create it, however, you need a thorough understanding of the project scope and objectives. Chiefly, you need two things: project scope statement to understand the project scope in detail, and project management plan to understand how to deal with the changes to project scope. You will want to refer to your project charter to develop the scope statement and scope management plan. The output of the entire WBS development process is as follows. It's a work breakdown structure, WBS dictionary, and scope baseline. Then you have to determine the major deliverables. Once you have an understanding of the project scope, start the WBS development process by figuring out the key deliverables. For example, if you want to make a house, or if your goal is to build a house, you might have the following board deliverables at level 2: foundation, exterior, and interior. Now, there are two heuristics you can follow for determining the major deliverables at the second level. Each deliverable must be essential to success of the project. For example, you can't build a house without a foundation, exterior or interior. Second, each deliverable should be responsibility of an independent team. In the above, the team responsible for foundation won't be the same as team building interiors or exteriors. Third, determine work package. A work package, as you have learned, is a deliverable at the lowest level of WBS. In a typical 3-level WBS, determining work package could be a next step after identifying major deliverables. This is one of the most important parts of the WBS development process, and one that will require extensive input from your project team and stakeholders. Your goal is to pick a major deliverable, then identify all the work necessary to complete it. This work package must be independent. That is, the work package must be mutually exclusive and have no dependence on other ongoing elements. Second, it should be definable. The work package should have a definite beginning and end and should be understood by all project participants. Estimable. You should be able to estimate the work package duration, resources, and requirements. Fourth is manageable. The package must represent a meaningful unit of work, i.e., it must accomplish something concrete and can be assigned to an individual or a team. It should also be measurable. Fifth is integrable. The package must integrate with other elements to create a parent level. And last is adaptable. Ideally, the package must be able to accommodate changes in scope as per project requirement. In the case work can't meet the above requirements, you can decompose WS into another level. There are few rules you can follow for determining work package. The first rule is 8 by 80 rule. A common rule of the thumb is that each work package must be no longer than 80 hours and no less than 8 hours in total length. If it is longer, decompose it further. If it is shorter, think about going up a level, one level. Second, reporting period. Another common rule is to limit each work package to a single reporting period. If it takes longer than one reporting period, it could be anything, monthly, weekly, fortnightly. So to accomplish, decompose it further. And third, use nouns. You should be able to describe each work package with a noun or an adjective. To break it down further, you will need to use verbs. For example, bike seat. Bike seat is a noun describing a work package. Now, if you break it down further, you will need to use verbs like cut foam and stitch leather, etc. WBS dictionary. A WBS dictionary is a document that outlines the definition and scope of each element contained in WBS. It is a supporting document meant to help incoming project teams understand each work package better. You don't necessarily need a WBS dictionary, especially if the project is simple or limited in scope. For complex projects with a lot of churn, however, dictionary can greatly improve clarity. Further, the WBS dictionary takes you one step closer to creating project schedule. You can often transplant details from this dictionary straight to your project scheduling tool. Here are a few details you can include in each of the WBS dictionary. Work package ID. This is a unique ID for each work package. Work package name, work package description, assigned to, name of the individual or team member, department, date of assignment, due date, estimated cost. The level of detail you want to include is entirely up to you. Now, key WBS structure best practices. So let us look at some of the best practices when creating a WBS. The work breakdown structure is the foundation of your project schedule, which in turn is the foundation of the entire project. Following a best practice in the WBS creation phase can greatly improve the accuracy of your project schedule. A clear breakdown of the key deliverables will help you estimate and assign resources better. Here are some of the key best practices you should follow when creating work breakdown structure. So first best practice is use nouns, not verbs. As I said earlier, the purpose of a WBS is to track deliverables, not activities. And what of the work matters, not how of getting there. One way to achieve this goal is to use nouns when adding elements to WBS. That is, every element in the WBS should either be a noun or an adjective. Think of house foundation instead of removing or to create foundation, or communication plan document instead of gathering requirements for communication plan. The goal of this nouns, not verbs exercise is to force you to keep your elements broad in scope. Activities usually describe the final level in any work package. Your WBS should focus on one level above that. Second, follow the 100% rule closely. A work breakdown structure is meant to be exhaustive. There should not be no deliverable outside of the WBS. This is why it is crucial that you follow 100% rule. Every level should be everything you need to deliver. Anything beyond that should be scrapped. This helps you spot gaps and redundancies. It also ensures that every project component is complete and nothing is left behind. Third, keep all elements mutually exclusive. The other cardinal rule of work breakdown structure, besides the 100% rule, is mutual exclusivity. Every element should be independent. You shouldn't need any input from any other element to complete it. If you do, it's better to combine the two elements together and push the work package up a level. For example, if you're building a bicycle, you can create a handlebar independently of the bicycle frame. Thus, it would be a separate work package. In contrast, to create the wheel spokes, you will first need to have the exact dimensions of the wheel rim. In such a case, it would be better to combine wheel spokes and wheel rim into a single work package. And mind the level of detail. A common mistake creating a work breakdown structure is to keep the level of detail either too broad or too narrow. Like Goldilocks, there's a level of details that's just right. Ideally, your decomposition should stop before you can use verbs to describe the element. For instance, if you are building a bicycle, wheel rim should be the final level since it describes your deliverable. If you decompose it further, you will have activities related to deliverables such as buy steel, shape steel, make holes, all of which are activities. If this happens, you know you have got too many levels. Aim for between 3 to 5 levels. Any further than that, and you are looking at a project that's likely too complex. Thank you guys for watching my video. And if you have any questions, put them in the comment section below. If you like to learn business analysis from me, you can contact me. My phone number is in the first slide itself or at the beginning of the video itself. Do call me and I'll be happy to help you out. Thank you and have a good day.